Hi, I'm Amy. I'm a dietetic intern at this facility. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right, it's a pretty day out. It's really nice and warm, so I'm enjoying myself.
Yeah, thankfully we finally have some nice weather.
Oh yeah. How are you
So
doing?
I'm good. I'm good. So for today's session, we're just going to start off by talking a little bit about why you're here. It says here that you were recently diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. So I just want to get a good idea about your medical history and your dietary intake. So why don't we start out? How long ago were you diagnosed?
I actually was diagnosed, I guess it was last week. I went and saw my family physician and he diagnosed me then.
All right. And have you been feeling since then?
I've definitely been, it's been tough. It's like a whole new kind of change in my life. So I've just been like kind of trying to adjust a little bit, but I have noticed a little bit more how my body's been feeling and kind of reacting to the different amounts of like kind of carbohydrates and stuff that I do kind of take in. If I eat too many, I get really jittery and shaky and I feel pretty weird. And then if I don't eat enough, I feel like sick and just tired and
Yeah,
things like
so that's
that.
good that you kind of have a good gauge about how your body's reacting and you're paying a lot of attention to that. So that's good. It might even be good to, write down how you're feeling just to keep record of it.
Okay.
So have you noticed any weight changes in the past year or so?
Yeah, I mean, before I got diagnosed, I kind of was just like, I dropped a few pounds and I wasn't really sure why. But then, like I said, my physician kind of told me that it kind of has to do a little bit with the diabetes and stuff. He said that's like pretty common or whatever.
Yeah, so a lot of times upon initial diagnosis, people will lose weight. And after diagnosis, have you noticed any changes or have you been a pretty steady weight since?
I've been at a pretty steady weight, I guess, since then. He's been telling me I need to kind of make sure my carbohydrates are, consistent or whatever. So I have been like needing to kind of take in more. I feel like especially with like the snacking and stuff. So it's been kind of steady actually. I haven't really lost anything.
And you know about how much you weigh?
Currently I weigh 225. But when I started losing weight, I was like originally at like 230 ish, 235.
All right. All right, so now we're just gonna go through and why don't you tell me a little bit about yourself, your occupation, what you usually do?
Okay, yeah, so I'm a construction worker, so my hours kind of just like fluctuate. It's either based on the site that we work at. So I work pretty long hours. I work pretty hard hours, work up a sweat quite a bit. I just live with my wife at home. Our kids moved out, thank God. So just us now. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just go to work, come home, sit on the couch, have a beer, watch
Yeah,
sports. I don't know.
so it seems like you're pretty physically active at work.
Yeah, I guess I'm kind of active at work. It's like heavy lifting and, in the sun sometimes, so it gets pretty hot. But yeah.
Yeah, so we're gonna go through a little bit of what you usually eat. I feel like the easiest way to do this is just do a 24-hour recall, so what you ate yesterday. We're gonna start with the first meal you ate in the morning, and we're just gonna kind of work our way through the day to get a really good idea about what you're usually eating.
Okay, so I guess like before work, I'll try to get myself up and I'll just have a cup of coffee. I like to have it, cream and sugar. I like it pretty sweet. And then for, like the actual food itself, I will typically just have, either two pieces of toast or, like a bagel and I'll pop them in the toaster oven and I'll put some butter and some jelly on them. And then I have my wife kind of pack my lunch for me because I'm just kind of like, I don't really know what to eat honestly anymore, especially with this diagnosis. She probably knows more than I do, but typically she'll just pack me like a sandwich, like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich or something, and some like crackers or a fruit of some kind, and maybe some like broccoli with some like ranch dressing or something like that. And then I guess for dinner, last night we had fish and some brown rice. and I think we had broccoli, and it was like kind of like assorted vegetables. It was like broccoli, like cauliflower, like carrots, just like all steamed or whatever. And I had a beer with dinner, just one. It was like, you know, the standard like 12-ounce Bud Light, you know. And then for kind of like a later night snack, me and my wife kind of shared some popcorn while we watched TV. And then I guess today before I came in, I had breakfast, and again, it was just like a piece of toast with some jelly and some butter on it, just how I like it. So.
All right, so now we're going to go back through and I'm just going to kind of ask you some more questions just to get a little bit more in depth. So for your coffee, you said you have cream and sugar. Do you know about how much do you use, like little packets of sugar, or do you just pour it?
I would take like a spoon, like a regular kind of like, you know, cereal kind of spoon that you just would eat with. I like to do like 2 scoops of sugar. My doctor said that's kind of a lot, so I've been like trying to switch over to like that stevia kind of stuff, but it's kind of gross. So I don't really like use it that often. And then for the creamer, I use like regular half and half kind of stuff, just like the vanilla kind. And I'll probably put in like maybe like a tablespoon, maybe 2 of it.
All right. And then you said that you usually either have a bagel or 2 pieces of toast. So when you put, you use regular jelly and the butter, about how much of each, if you had to use even just your hands and kind of give me an estimate?
I guess on each piece of toast, I'll probably use like this much butter. And then I'll put like on top of the butter, I'll put maybe this much jelly on both, you know, like a nice even spread.
All right. And then, so for lunch, we said your wife packs your lunch. Does she usually do a lot of the cooking in the house?
Oh yeah, my wife, she does all the cooking, all the shopping, all that kind of stuff, you know.
All right.
So.
And so she's a pretty good support system with your recent diagnosis.
Yeah. She's been, like I said, she's been pretty helpful. You know, she came to my appointment last week, and then she couldn't come today with me, but she really kind of pushed me today because not gonna lie, I didn't really want to come. I don't really see like how like my lifestyle is kind of really impacted by it. I know it's like I have to eat like carbs and whatever it is, but you know, so she
yeah, so hopefully we can get some of those hopefully we can get some of those questions answered a little bit later in today's session.
Yeah.
Clear some things up. So usually have a sandwich, peanut butter and jelly. Is that usually what you have, or?
Yeah, like I'll have peanut butter jelly, or you know, it'll be like some turkey cold cuts, ham cold cuts, or something with like lettuce and tomato, a little bit of mayo or something.
All right. And then you said you usually have a side, so usually like a vegetable with ranch dressing. And how much dressing do you usually?
Honestly, vegetables are kind of nasty without dressing, in my opinion. So I'll kind of like, I guess like if I was to use my hands, like, you know, like, I don't know, like that much, I guess. A decent amount. I like to dip it in.
All right. And then for dinner, you said fish and brown rice and then some mixed vegetables. So if you had like a regular plate and you divide it up into 4 sections, how would you like quantify how much fish, rice, and broccoli was on your plate?
I would say that the fish, or honestly like any kind of meat, I really like to eat meat, like chicken, beef, any kind of thing. So that'll probably take up like half the plate, I guess, or like half the plate, I would say. And then, you know, like the sides, depending what they are, they take up the other kind of half, you know, like one has the top half, the other one has like the bottom half.
All right, so usually, and you said brown rice, so you've been, you enjoy some whole grains.
Yeah, so I don't mind that. My wife kind of, I feel like there's not really a difference between white and brown rice. If there is, I don't really know, other than the color of it, but yeah.
And how about for your bread with your sandwiches and with breakfast? Is that usually white or whole grain?
Like I said, it used to be white, but my wife has been buying like more of the whole grain stuff, I guess, for me. So.
All right, that's awesome. So besides your construction job, what other physical activity do you partake in, or are usually just pretty tired from work?
I am pretty tired with work, but my doctor told me that it's important that I kind of try to maintain my weight. And also, like he said, like although I've experienced like a weight loss, he said like weight loss is still like good for diabetes, I guess. So my wife has been dragging me out to go for like little walks after dinner and stuff. So, but that was only like again like since my diagnosis, so like since last week.
And how many times a week would you say that you've been going on these walks?
Depending on how tired I am from work, she'll drag me outside. Maybe like since we started, we've gone for walks like I guess every other day
All right.
around the block. You know, it's typically like maybe a 30-minute walk.
All right, awesome. So I feel like I got pretty good idea about your intake and your usual habits. So next I want to talk a little bit about just why you came here and what are some of your goals moving forward.